Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Jolemonus podcast. Let's jump right into it with updates.
Updates, get your updates.
So, if you are subscribed to my channel or a fan of mine at all, you probably have seen I haven't posted shit in a very, very long time. No lame-ass excuses, just legit reasons. I've been working a lot, and I just haven't been in a very creative mood. And I like to put at least tiniest bit of effort into what I release. And I don't want to just release a crap-ass video for you guys to be like, yeah, unsubscribe. So other than that, I'm only working one job now. I finally quit my retail job, so it's just solely FedEx now, and I'm still working almost as much, if not more, as when I had two more jobs. So yeah, that's fun. But enough about me. On with the podcast. So let's get into the meat.
So tasty.
All right, everybody, to start this podcast, if you haven't guessed by the title screen, we're going to be talking about the Kamen writer, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but that's the way it's spelled, Zio. And to start things off, we're going to talk about the first picture that was released, and with me again, as in my last podcast, is my buddy Paul. Paul, what are we looking at?
Well, it's definitely a Kamen writer.
Well, this picture I'm showing you right now, this is the original leaked picture that shouldn't have been released. There's an arcade machine in Japan that updated its software too early, and people got to see this when they shouldn't have, and boy, did people get in trouble for that shit. But this was the first initial thing anybody got to see of the next Kamen Rider. Now, when I first saw it, I thought it kind of looked like he had a Rolex for a head, and he had like the watch band going down his chest. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, it's interesting because it still has that bug look to it. That's very, like what Kamen Rider is supposed to look like. But
right.
You clock hands, making the antennas, and obviously it's got the lines around it from the clock face. Yeah, it does look like he's got that Rolex like. Hate those kind of bands. Ugh.
Yeah, those things suck. Those will just pinch the shit out of your wrists.
Well, that and they'll just like rip the hair out if you're not careful.
True. And if you look, it almost looks like he's grabbing the watch dial on the side of his head, like he's gonna turn it or something.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so that was the first initial release. Let's go ahead and look at the next picture. Let me just bring that up. Now, if you guys are experiencing any lag watching this, the reason is I'm sending him these pictures that you guys are already seeing, so it takes him a second to look at it. Now, what you're looking at now, Paul, that is the logo. So that's the logo for the new series. And as you can see, they tried to incorporate the clock hands into it. I really like it. I think it's neat. And then if you look, it actually says Kamen Rider ZI/O. So that's where I'm getting Zio from. But I noticed in Japan they usually pronounce the Z with a J sound, so it might be Geo. I don't know.
Those wacky Japanese.
Yeah, because like Power Rangers, like the first season was called Jew Ranger over there, only it was spelled with a Z, but they said Jew.
Yeah, we've always had it as like Zayu Ranger.
Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next picture. Now this is a full body shot of the rider now, so now you can get a really good look of what he looks like.
Totally thought he was flipping me off for a second.
Oh, people have photoshopped him into that, trust.
Oh, man.
So now looking at him full body, what are your takeaways from this, Paul?
Very Deno, like with like the way the black is.
I see that with the chest plate, yeah. Funny story.
Look.
Funny story about the chest plate. So many people were freaking out about like the bulkiness of the chest plate that they were trying to speculate that it's a chick.
Yeah, I can see why. This kind of looks like that. I could easily shoot over, a decent sized pair of tits.
But he definitely has a similar color scheme to Decade. He's got like that purple and black going on. I think they did that on purpose.
I was just going to say the same thing. I think they might have done it on purpose. This is kind of like the anniversary color palette,
And I can only assume like the kid's probably going to make a appearance some point in the series. Now, or another kid, because it's always his fault. And the next picture we're going to look at was a promotional one they released, where it's like the main poster showcasing him and the secondary writer and like all the writers he's supposedly going to meet throughout the series. And a funny story about this, if you look in the upper right-hand corner with Ryuki, the guy above Faiz, if you know who Faiz is.
Yeah.
Well, originally they had him wearing the Decade belt, and they had to recrop the picture, move Faiz up to cover that up because they screwed up. And apparently,
I saw an image like that in our writer group.
Yeah,
thing where like it was Ryuki, and there was like one or two others where they accidentally did like the decade.
Yeah, it was a few of them actually. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, we get it. This is the anniversary series, but get your shit together, Toei. And
still less of a screw up than Megaforce.
Yeah, fair enough. And we won't discuss that atrocity. And funny story about this particular picture, it's currently in my cell phone background.
Yeah, I'm loving Thor's over there, just like, oh, king of the world.
I'm flying. And we're gonna.
Of course, Buddha's just like, man, I'm gonna get you, man. It's just like that point.
Just like grandmother said this, I will beat that ass. And here's another promotional picture. I really like this one, how it showcases like actual scenes from other series, and it actually has the year they premiered, like in the battle scene. It's just a neat little promotional picture. It doesn't really add anything to it, but it gives you a feel like how they're gonna go from like series to series to series.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if it's gonna be another time travel kind of aspect. I mean, the clock face sort of thing does kind of lend itself to a time travel concept.
Oh yeah, they've already confirmed like that is for sure what they're doing. Like the whole like premise of Zeo, I'm just gonna keep calling him Zeo, so forgive me. But the whole premise of Zeo is he can travel through time. He's basically the Doctor. He can travel through time and space. And then
we finally get a female Doctor. She's already regenerated into a Kamen Rider.
Damn it! And then here's another promotional picture. This one, again, showcasing Zeo, and I think they're calling him Gates, the secondary rider. And they show you his bike in the upper left-hand corner.
I mentioned how much I'm loving the design of the secondary rider, but I mean, it's mostly red, so of course I'm going to love it.
Well, what's interesting is from what I've heard from other people and other sources that the kanji on the main rider's face, Zeo's face, it says rider, or Kamen, and then it says rider on Gates' face. Yeah, I thought that was neat.
It's a pretty neat little touch.
Alright, let's get into the next picture here. This is starting to get into the meat of it, showing you like the gimmick, I guess you could say, this year. This next one's pretty good. This one shows you the belt. And it details it a little bit better. Now, if you look, it says 2018 on the like digital faceplate of the belt, because that's supposed to be like Zeo's year. And what they do this year is they use something called ride watches, which is that like white circle that kind of has like Zeo's face on it.
Yeah. And
they put it into the belt, and they spin the belt, and it takes them to that year or accesses that power or something like that. I don't fucking know. It's neat though. I like it. I'll probably be dumping ridiculous amounts of money into it. Like you do.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that as a collectible gimmick?
That's really interesting. Especially because like I'm assuming it's gonna have like if you get the one for Deno, it's gonna have Deno's face on it.
Yes,
like that,
yes.
Which is actually really cool. It actually makes them feel much more like a fun collectible. Not just like it's seriously worth giving. Buy these little bottles. Buy these switches. It actually feels more like that's like this is the gimmick to the belt, and it is like the thing that they use, but hey, it's a fun collectible too because they've got the faces of all the old riders.
Agreed. Like that was one of the thing with Decade is you actually had like the Kamen Riders on the card to use too. Now with the next picture I just sent you, you'll see he actually uses the spin gimmick. So in the upper right hand corner, you see he actually slaps the belt and the driver itself spins.
Pretty gutsy to have something that spins like that so close to his crotch.
Well, don't forget he may be a girl.
Touche. So that would actually be a nice twist to the general like Kamen Rider style. Because there's only been like 2 female riders ever.
No, there's been more than that. Like just that you know of. If Paul hasn't been too exposed to as much Kamen Rider as I have.
Yeah, once my computer started dying because of trying to torrent, Kamen Rider and Sentai, like for some reason the torrent sites were fucking up my computer, so I haven't been able to keep up.
Well, that's why I've been posting them on Facebook for you, so you can watch them there.
They get lost in the shuffle, unfortunately, but.
And if you look at the next picture I just sent, now we get to see his rider kick. And it's just your classic, nothing special rider kick. Just put your foot out and fly through the air. Nothing.
And of course, with like the kanji on the bottom of the foot, it's like, I'm going to branch your face.
It's like, you're going to know who did this.
Yeah. If it doesn't blow you up, you're going to have a permanent mark.
Alright, let's take a look at the next one. This one I do believe shows his default weapon. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so this is going to be his default weapon for the year. It's your classic like gun sword thing. And the sword part of it, as you can tell, actually looks like a clock hand. And I'm pretty sure that's the same kanji on his weapon that's on his face. And it does utilize his gimmick. As you can see, it's got that circle.
I can see where you put the watch hands. Or, you know what I mean?
The watch faces, yeah. I really do like the design of it, and the way it looks like in gun mode is really cool, having like the clock hand just sticking out of the end.
It's kind of funny. It's like I'm looking at the gun, and it's reminding me of the dubstep gun from Saints Row 4.
I can kind of see that. And the next thing we're going to look at is the secondary rider. Now, apparently, the secondary rider is going to be revealed very early on in the series, if not even in the first episode. And this guy.
That's definitely a big kind of shift in how Kamen Rider is usually handling this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they usually don't show him in the first episode. Now, if you take a look, this is Kamen Rider Gates, and if you look at the date on his belt, he's from 2068.
Wow.
2068, actually.
Yeah,
and that might be, that might be 66. I think you might be right.
And it's shot at a weird angle, so yeah, it's hard to tell if it's a 6 or an 8.
You know what? I think it is a 6. I think you're right about that. Now, Gates has.
So that or it's an E for no reason,
I hope not. But anyways, Gates has powers very, very identical to Zio's, except for he came from the future to. It's kind of like, what is it? Legend of Tomorrow. It's very, very Legend of Tomorrow-esque, where they're coming from the future to fix. What are they called, Paul?
What?
Those aberrations, or what are they? Like the things they're fixing in Legends?
Time operations.
Apparitions.
Second season, aberrations would be. But it was what did they call them last season? I can't think what they were called. There was a special name for them.
But essentially,
the aberrations were just like the Legion of Doom fucking up the timeline kind of thing.
Well, and apparently this year that's going to be a very similar storyline. Like these bad guys from the future are going through time and space to alter the timeline to make their ultimate future. And here's another good look at Gates showing all his sides and stuff. And if you're wondering, if you look at the thing on his wrist, both him and Zio have that. and that's basically the watch face holder. Like that's where they hold their watch faces so they can just quickly access them and throw on like armors from other riders and stuff. But we'll get to that here in a second.
It's like looking at the pockets of a Rob Liefeld character.
And speaking of that, we'll actually get to that right now. And I'm looking at this picture I'm about to send you here. Here we go. This is Zio demonstrating how they access other riders' powers. So you take the watch of, he's using Kamen Rider build, you slide it into the other side of the belt, and next picture, please. Now, instead of turning into the rider like they did in Decade, they actually don armor. Like this armor appears and just goes over their rider suit and gives them new powers. And as you can see on the right, he's turned into Kamen Rider Build, and on the left, Gates turned into Kamen Rider Ghost.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And one thing that seemed to be constant is with the gimmicky riders, where they had a gimmick that year, the shoulder pads of the armor has those gimmicks incorporated into it somewhere.
Yeah, I see that now. Like as you say, like I see the bottles. It's like it almost looks like a Frankenstein kind of thing going on, but he's got like the bottles over his shoulders, and yeah, he's got Ghost's eyes.
And what's neat is like he has like the drill from Build's like default weapon as like part of the armor into his hand, and it's kind of hard to see, but it does appear that he has some sort of weapon from Ghost adhered to his right arm. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it is really cool how instead of just like being a little bit, I guess you could say, generic and lazy about it, they're actually getting new, not just new abilities, but completely new forms based on previous writers. I think they did a really good job with that.
Seeing Zio with Build with the drill on is making me think of Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
The rider that will pierce the heavens.
And here's a much better picture of Zio as Build form.
It makes sense that they would focus on those two. So those were like Ghost was the one just before Build, wasn't he?
No, it was X-Aid.
No. Oh, X-Aid, right.
He is going to get an X-Aid
I
form,
hated
though.
the design of X-Aid so much I forgot about it.
Yeah, a lot of people couldn't get over those eyes. Those were too anime-ish.
And the palette, the color palette tone was just off-putting too. Like it looked weird. I mean, the concept was cool, but like, yeah, just the basic look and color scheme and everything just was off-putting.
And the next picture we're going to look at is a really good look at Gates with Ghost form. And it looks like he's doing Ghost's signature kick. And if you look, like he even has Ghost's chest plate too, like that eye icon.
Yeah.
And you can tell better with this particular picture how it is armor. Like you can see how it's segmented into pieces. Like if you look at the leg piece there, and how like the shoulder pads look like they're just tacked on. Like, and that's how the toys are going to work too. And by the time we get to the end of this, we are going to show pictures of the toys, and I was just saving those for last. I figured we'll start on what's actually going to be on the show first before we show what the toys are going to be like.
Oh, is that the Ghost icon, clock face thing?
Yeah, that's Ghost. Yeah, that's Ghost face there.
Yeah, that's really cool, Hawkins. Yeah, Ghost face. I didn't know this was Ben 10.
I thought it was Ghost Freak.
Damn it!
So close.
Ghost face is Scream.
And now we're looking at Zio's premiere. He's gonna premiere in the Build movie this summer. I think just came out very recently. And the pictures you're looking at now, Paul, are just like them showing his cameo in the new Build movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I see another one is 8/4, so I think it probably comes out next weekend.
Yeah, so real soon here. And it also shows a better picture of his bike and how it actually has like a Kamen Rider face on the watch, like that makes up the band of the bike if you look at it.
Yeah, I'd seen a picture of the bike a little bit before, and like my first thought was it kind of reminds me of the Master Cycle from, well, initially from Mario Kart, but like Master Cycle Zero from the Wilds DLC. Kind of has that same sort of, like, it almost looks like he's riding some kind of like robot horse to a degree.
I can see that. Yeah, that's not too far off. And then the next picture, I do believe, is another picture. Yeah, this is another picture of him premiering in the Kamen Rider build movie Be the One. And that's been a tradition for several years now that like next year's Rider gets a cameo inside the summer movie of the current year's Rider. And it's just...
Yeah, the Sentai did the same thing.
Yeah, they have been doing that too. I guess that's just a
Yeah.
Like gimmick they decide to do now. And I think the next thing we're getting into is the toys itself. Let me see here. Yeah, now we're getting into the toys. Now the toys are where I'm going to just be so killed in my wallet, because I'll probably, because they've already announced like promotional items and how you can only get certain watch faces by buying certain toys rather than just being able to buy.
They love doing that shit, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. And if you're looking at this, now this isn't like the show stuff. This is actually the toys themselves, showing you how the gimmicks works, looking at like Gates and Zio right there. And obviously, as you can tell, since it's split down the middle, this is only half of the picture. We'll bring up the other half real quick here. It takes a second. There we go. Now looking at this, it shows you some more of the Rider watches and the armors they produce. Like you mentioned before about X-Aid.
Well, the X-Aid armor for Zio looks better than X-Aid himself. It's actually kind of funny.
I think it has everything to do with his eyes too.
Yeah, like I love like the way they actually kind of each shoulder's like half of one of the cartridges.
Right, yeah.
That's really cool.
And on the bottom you see Kamen Rider Drive, and he has two giant wheels on either side of his shoulder.
Yeah.
And what's neat is they've already...
Wizard in between Drive and X-Aid, right?
No, Wizard... Shit, what did Wizard come in? Wizard came, I think, before Gaim. Yeah, Wizard was before Gaim. So, and those are both before Drive and X-Aid.
Oh, so they're just showing like the last four riders?
Yes, from the looks of it. Yeah, that's the last four. There's going to be more. They're going to be able to access everybody all the way back to...
okay, so which Kubo. Rider is that?
Which one?
The orange one.
The orange one's Ghost.
Oh, that's okay. That's what Ghost looks. Okay, I didn't see that much of. Okay, now I see the shoulder thing. Yeah. Sleep deprivation, man.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, on to more toys. And wait till you see the last toy I have saved. That one's. I'm definitely saving the best for last. That one's gonna blow your mind. Let's see here.
I'm just looking forward to seeing the Deno-related stuff, man.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
My favorite rider.
He is really cool. And this is another look at the
That's
belt.
The belt, yeah.
Now, apparently it can do stuff other than just tell the year. Like if you look, it actually says Zio, and it says time break. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, it actually shows like how he transforms. Like it's kind of hard to see. But he spins the belt, and then it actually forms a clock around him, and then he transforms into Zio.
Some of the like background graphics remind me of like Time Force.
Yeah. That definitely has a Time Force feel to it. I totally see that. We're talking about Power Rangers Time Force, or for those people who are strictly Sentai only, Time Ranger. And here's another picture of the belt in action for the appropriate age, not us man children.
Yeah, the people that the belt is supposed to fit, not people like me who can access to wear the Deno belt and not be.
Yeah, I actually bought the extender for adults. And you wouldn't
I probably should, because it is a little tight, but I can still mostly just wear it.
you wouldn't believe that little piece of plastic just to make it fit like a normal sized adult costs like $30. It's ridiculous. I couldn't find it cheaper anywhere else.
Ridiculous.
And then look at this kid. This kid has just given up on life. He's just like, they're not paying me enough for this gig. I'm just gonna put on this fucking belt, spin the thing around, go home, eat some mac and cheese, and cry.
Out of that, he's just like, I don't care what rider this is. Not every rider should be Tendo.
I approve. I very much so approve.
God, that was like Tendo's expression, like 98% of Kabuto.
Yeah, it's just like there doesn't need to be any other riders. I'm just the best. Now this is kind of what you've been waiting for, Paul, like this next picture here. It shows all of the rider faces up to build. So it actually starts, like you can see a little bit of lens flare from whoever took the picture, but Deno's is in there.
Yeah, that's actually really cool, like, the way that it fits right into the plot, because of course it's going to focus on the sword form. I'm wondering if there's going to be faces for like some of the other forms, or
Well,
there's a way to do like some of the ultimate forms.
And then another thing that's really cool is the watch actually has two faces. If you look at the watch Zio is holding up in the right, up on the left, excuse me, it shows like at the top of it is build symbol, and on the bottom is the year build came out. And then when you click the little red button on top of that he's holding, it switches to where it moves around and looks like Build's face instead of what it looks like now in his hands. So all of those do that.
I'm liking the one for double as well.
Let me see. Where's double? Yeah, that one's looking really good too. But like I said, outside of them being the gimmick he uses to transform, they do something. Like they actually physically do something. Like you click the button and it goes from looking like a watch to looking like the Kamen Rider's face. Very nicely done, I think. I'm stoked for this. Not too many more of these to get through, guys. Sorry.
So one other thing I'm already kind of wondering is if they're going to do any, even if it's just like promotional toys, which they're probably going to do regardless, if we're going to see them do anything with secondary riders. It'd be kind of cool to see them based on DA.
Oh yeah, well they've already for sure said they're doing some of the secondary riders. We'll get to that. I have pictures of that. This is just this is mainly to look at the bottom picture where it shows this is an extension for like the thing he wears on his wrist, like that holds the watches. And again, this is the bullshit I was talking about before. I think this is the only way to get the Deno watch. If you look like that watch there in the corner.
Yeah.
And this is the bullshit I was talking about, where you have to buy toys like unrelated, well, related but not super related, just to get the bottles or the watch faces you want. Last year was bottles, sorry. And I get it, make money, but if you want to get like just the default.
At least this is still better than, hey, buy this random Christmas cake only available in Japan for this limited time.
But don't even get me started on the goddamn Christmas bottles. No. I'm still not buying those. Fuck those. And this is one promoting Gates stuff. I think you can actually just buy Gates watch by itself from the looks of it. I'm fairly certain that's how that works. But the only way you get Ghost's watch is you have to buy those damn couplers. Yep.
Yeah, I said it earlier. They do look cool in that crap.
Well, and we'll get to this later when I bring up the picture, but they're already like pulling crap with promotional items too, where you have to buy certain stuff at certain times to be able to access certain ride watches. Like Kamen Rider Cross, the secondary rider for Build, they're gonna release his ride watch, but to get it, you have to get it through a promotion. Now this is kind of cool. The reason I was bringing this one up was to show you, oh, okay, neat. I didn't even notice this before. Yeah, it's showing you, if you look at the ride watches up top, it shows like you have to buy something special to get Ghost, you have to buy something special to get Deno, and you have to buy something special to get O's. It's actually showing you that. But the reason I brought this picture up was to show you he's actually getting like some of the gimmicky toys from other series too to access his ride watch with. Like that's Fize's phone gun down there.
Yep, I thought that's what that was.
The second thing is like the cans from O's so that's the can that turned into a hawk. Remember how he used like those pop cans and stuff?
I didn't get to see O's.
Well, that was the gimmick that year. He used pop cans and they turned into these little android things that helped him out. It was neat. And the last thing is from Kamen Rider Gaim, and it looks a lot like the lock seed that he used to access his watermelon form, and it looks like it turns into something very similar. Also, if you look at the picture on the left, it's showing you that gimmick I was talking about before. By hitting the red button, it turns from our watch into the rider's face. Very nice. I'm excited. And I really like how they're actually getting like gimmicky toys from other riders series too. Like I like that you can get like something from Fize and O's and Gaim, just extra little add-ons. That's really cool. And the picture I'm sending you now is gonna showcase some more of the riders' armors, like some that we haven't seen yet. So here we get to see Force and Double and Decade.
Decade just looks like creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with that just random square on his face.
Yeah, like that definitely looks a little weird, but kind of cool at the same time. Like I definitely prefer like the X8 armor to X8 himself. Double just looks like a more badass armored version of Double.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Gundam.
A little bit.
And Force doesn't look half bad either. I think they did a good job with him.
I actually like the Force armor better than the actual Force. Like Force, it just looks like a weird like puffy suit to me. Like I never liked Force design that much.
Well, he was meant to look like an astronaut suit. That was the gimmick behind that.
Yeah, it just never really matched with me.
That's understandable. It's not everyone's favorite. Like I liked it, but it's not one I don't think I could ever sit through again. Like it just rubbed me the wrong way in a lot of different ways. Now these two are the armors for O's and Gaim, and I think it's kind of neat how they still have like something similar to the Tatuba symbol on his chest, and Gaim just has a giant Gaim face on his chest. That's weird. But he has the two orange lock seeds on his shoulders. That's kind of neat. I like that.
Yes. So we know you like Gaim, so put some Gaim in your Gaim armor.
So you can Gaim where you Gaim. Alright, let's see here. Where's the next one? The next one's some more armors to look at. There we go. And this shows Kamen Rider Fize, his armor, and Kamen Rider Wizard. Oh yeah, I just now noticed that. He does have phones on his shoulders. That's fantastic. And Wizard has the wizard rings on his shoulders. And his chest looks really cool. They got like the dragon motif on his chest.
That looks really cool.
I like the wizard form. I think they did really good.
A bit more of the design for the X8 one. Like, it definitely looks really cool.
Well, yeah, that black and purple X8 was actually an entirely different rider called Kamen Rider Gaim, and he was literally just a recolor of X8, but they treated him like a different rider, and it's like, that's just lazy.
Well, that happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately. And now we're getting into the form change figs. So if you look at this, they look about the classic size and quality of form change figs that we're used to, but here's where things get really interesting. So like the armors that go onto the riders actually work with either Gates or Zeo for like the Kamen Rider figs. But what's really neat is like they are literally armor. You just snap onto them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a really neat gimmick. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the kind of gimmick that a lot of people were speculating for Skylanders being where they snap extra armor and weapons onto the characters and have them like affect the game. But
didn't they do that in the Twice Life game already?
Yeah, that Light Seekers, but like yeah, it was an epic failure.
Oh yeah, that thing bombed.
And the fact that it was a Russ means it.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do anything with now.
Although I did see Toys R Us mention that they're not completely out. Like they tried to say they're coming back. Now this picture is really really cool. It's showing you some more of the armored toys, but now we get to see a much better look at fours and O's and X8. And you might have to zoom in a little bit, Paul, to take a better look at those. But if you look at O's, he actually has like a tiger coming across his chest now completely.
Yep.
That is
really cool.
Oh, I'm excited for that. O's was my favorite by far, and that's going to be awesome. And then
That's the thing about the fight Springman in a round of arms.
yeah, his hands are basically two hammers, because like that was X8's default weapon, was a hammer sword thing, and now his hands have turned into those. And obviously Fours has two spaceship rocket things for hands, which is kind of neat. You would think, because they've been keeping with the gimmicks, you would think he'd have Astro switches on either of his shoulders, but they just basically turned him into a giant spaceship. Which I'm not upset about. It looks nice, I think.
Spaceship! Spaceship!
Yes, Betty, you can make a spaceship. Lego movie. Alright. Let's see. Now that we're in the toys, we're almost done, Paul. We only got a few more to go. So now we're going to look at the toy versions of the default weapons of the two main riders. And so far from the looks of it, you don't have to buy these to get ride watches, which is nice. Like normally they'll make you buy a weapon or two to get the ride watches, but so far it does not look like you have to do that. So if you want to pass on this, you totally can from the looks of it and not miss out on getting any of the rider watches if this picture is to be believed. And since we already looked at it before, you can tell what it is. It's just obviously smaller. One thing I didn't notice before, but is it still has like the watch wristband coming off from where you put the rider watch. You see that, Paul?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that before. That's kind of neat. But I depending on like how this works, I'll probably skip this just because like I'm already going to be spending enough trying to get all the rider watches.
Yeah. My only thing with like the weapons is like as cool as they are, and yeah, they're toys, but I'd rather have like full on, like adult size versions of them.
Well, there are some modders out there who do that. Like they'll take the toys, buy 2 or 3 of them, break them apart, put them back together, and make them like show accurate size. Now this one's interesting. This shows us a better look at the Decade Ride Watch and Gates' signature weapon, which appears to be a bowgun of sorts, a bowgun and maybe an axe.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a crossbow that turns into an axe, which is a really cool concept.
Yeah, I like that. That's not too bad. Now, here's the coolest thing about this. So,
Decade sword.
Take a good look at the Decade Watch. You notice how it has that extra port on it? So if you look at the demo, apparently through the Decade Watch, you can access Decade and another rider's power at the same time. I expected a little bit more than, that's a big deal.
The is me trying to figure out, like, how the hell that's actually going to work. Is it going to have, like, triple armor going on, or what?
Well, I mean, if you look at the picture in the bottom left-hand side, I think that's what they're hinting to. Because, like, in the look of it, it looks like he's accessing Decade and Build's power at the same time. And unfortunately, though, with this, I think the only way you can get the Decade watch is by buying that Decade-looking sword. I hope that's not the case. Although, if I had to buy a weapon to get something, that sword looks pretty awesome, so I'm not super upset about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking from the looks of it, Decade will probably be like a power-up or something. Maybe like a quarter-season power-up.
Yeah, because since the whole gimmick is armored based on former riders, like, I can see Decade with that extra ability being, like you said, like the power up, not quite the final form that we always get, but.
Well, and another thing that I'm thinking about too is Decade was super short. Like, it was I think 20 or 30 episodes long. Like, it wasn't a full season, and I'm wondering what they're going to do to stretch this one out.
Yeah.
And here comes the best I saved for last. The official time machine of Zeo. Take a look at this shit. So,
wow, Kamen Rider with a Megazord.
Essentially, yeah, you actually put Zeo in it, and you have to buy this because it's the only way to get the deluxe Kamen Rider O's Rider Watch. And you can actually take the Rider Watches, as you can see that they're doing in the demo with Xaid. You can actually take the Rider Watches, put them in there in the top to give it a face.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's pretty fantastic. I think I need that, Paul. I think I need that.
Yeah. Rider Gundam, away!
We need Rider Sword power now.
That's the only other time they've only ever really come close to anything like that twice that I know of, being like some of the things they've done, what they did with the Denliner on Deno.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Castle Doran on Kiva.
Kinda. I mean, you did connect with that smaller dragon, but I didn't feel that too much.
Yeah, but it was more like I was looking at it like you went full on Titanic on that couple of months of the week.
Fair enough. Now, the reason this is the last picture is to bring up the controversy I was talking about before with premium items. So if you look at the picture, it says it comes out September 1st. The only way to get this Kamen Rider Cross Rider Watch is to buy something else in conjunction with it. I don't exactly know what it is. I mean, I can't read Japanese speak, but so the thing is, you won't be able to buy that Kamen Rider Cross watch at all. Like, they're not going to sell it in stores. Literally, the only way you can get it is through that promotion. So you can't just be like, well, I want to buy that. Well, no, you can't. You have to buy this to get that. You'll get that for free.
Yeah, and this kind of crap is worse than Nintendo going, hey, you want this amiibo? You gotta go here.
Well, and it's just, being an American collector, it pisses me off even more because it's not like I can go into a store and be like, okay, I will buy this in order to get my Cross, Rider Watch. I have to hope that the store I'm buying from in Japan actually gets enough of those to give me one if I buy what I need to buy. Because I've actually been screwed over before by that. It was back during Xaid, I wanted the Kamen Rider Gem, thing you needed to transform with, and I bought the item trying to get it, desperately trying to get it, and the store didn't give me the promotional item. They didn't tell me why, they just didn't do it. And I'm like, I didn't want to buy that thing yet. I wanted to wait, but I bought it when I didn't really have the money to, just to try to get that Gem thing, and you guys didn't even give it to me. And then
dick move.
The bullshit last year with the Kamen Rider build lock bottle. They did that same shit again where it was damn near impossible to get it because you had to buy one of 3 different items. And again, I did the same thing again. I bought the item I needed to buy to get it, and they're like, no, we didn't have enough. And it just sucks, man. I hate it when they do that shit because then scalpers come in, and we all know how you love scalpers, Paul.
Oh yeah, that. It's one of the things I hate about when they pull any kind of exclusivity deal or these promotional things. If it's a special variant, that's one thing because most of us wouldn't really care about the special variants. We just want the main one,
Right.
But when it's if you want this character, you gotta jump through these 12 hoops and hope to hell we decide to be nice to you.
It's a huge pain in the ass, man, and it's thankfully I don't care too much if I get the Kamen Rider Cross Ride Watch, but if they do one of the main staple riders that way, I'm going to lose my shit. I will be very pissed off about that. So far, it doesn't appear like they're doing that. It's just doing it for secondary riders and stuff like that. But hopefully they don't do that for any of the main ones. Fingers crossed. So Now that all the pictures have gone through, final thoughts, Paul? What do you think about Zio? You think you're going to give it a shot with me when it comes out?
I'm definitely gonna try because I mean I do like the anniversary stuff. I mean I understand some of the riders I didn't get to see
Right.
necessarily, but it's still gonna be fun. Like I'm definitely looking forward to what to do with like his Deno, Decade, and Double because those are my three favorites.
Well, and Decade probably will have like a big impact on it, especially considering he was an anniversary rider too.
Yeah, so that's I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how his episodes play out because I'm assuming they're gonna have like specific episodes related to each of these riders over the course of it. Cause that's how Japan does their anniversary seasons. They celebrate the shit they're celebrating.
Right.
Oh yeah, random fan service. You happy now?
Well, and they've already speculated that they're going to get back as many people as they can because they didn't do that too well with Decade. Like they didn't get back much of anybody. And
yeah, and with Decade, they actually had that like interesting twist where he was being like alternate reality versions of the riders. So it was kind of an interesting concept of like, yeah, this is technically Wataru, but it's just like a little kid Wataru who's actually like running the vampire stuff rather than being the Wataru we know.
Right. And they did the same thing with Hibiki too, making him a little kid again. But the problem I have with that is if nothing else, like if you can't get the main like actor back, don't show him unmorphed. Show him transformed all the time. Or just show him transformed all the time and get him back as a voice actor because voice acting is 1,000 times easier and it's cheaper on the company overall. But don't pull this stupid AU bullshit again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with the time travel thing. Some of the older riders, like if we're supposed to believe it's in the same year, and this rider was from like 15 years ago. Like,
right.
They may not entirely be up to reprising the role. So like, just having them do a voiceover and having the character constantly morph, like, it would make a little bit more sense. It would still give us that like authentic feeling to it.
I agree. And if nothing else, there's certain guys they can't get back due to contractual obligations. Like they can't get back Ritaro, like the guy who played Deno. He can't come back, like ever. And I don't know what the hell happened with his contract, but like after the last thing he did, and he did like a crossover movie with Kiva, they can't get him back, like ever. Like
I remember reading something about like his agents just won't like let him like the way they did the contract. They won't let him play. He wants to play the character again. He loves playing Ryoko.
Right. I don't know, man. Well, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna blow ridiculous amounts of money on it, and I look forward to it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast, and I will see you in the next video. Hadouces.